Rick's Hot Sauce Late Model Series. There we go. Sorry about that, everyone. Welcome to the Rick's Hot Sauce Late Model Series. We're live from USA here tonight for the Country Road Sports Cards Championship 100. This is the final race of the Rick's Hot Sauce Late Model Series and the last race of the playoffs. So a lot on the line here tonight. And joining me in the booth, I'm Hunter Slebby, your lead announcer. Joining me in the booth is producer Harold Darner, Jacob Bell, and Ryan Swan. Guys, what's up?
What's up, Hunter? Are you excited, man? We get to crown us a champion here tonight for the first time in Extreme Motorsports Late Model Series history. We're going to have a champion here tonight. And taking a look at the point standings, James Shane Wolf comes in with just a 10-point lead over Matthew Robinson. That all can change with just one mistake tonight, and a lot of different circumstances can happen. So we're going to have to race it out and see who comes out as champion.
Indeed, we will. And as you see on the screen right now, these are your current championship standings. So kind of just a two-horse race here between James Shane Wolf and Matthew Robinson. They've won both of the, well, not both. They've won all of the playoff races, but both have been two-race winning streaks. James Shane Wolf won the first two, and Matthew Robinson's won the last two. And right now, it's currently a 10-point gap between Shane Wolf and Robinson for the championship. So there are the rest. You see Jeremy Knapp and Carter Cooper in a tie for second, both 22 back. Behind here, it's, not Philip York, Jacob York, currently sixth in points, followed by Johnny Collier. And then towards the bottom half of the points, you have Rick Ward, Ed Morris Sr., Dawson Miller, Sebastian Taylor, Jeremy Rigney, and Cliff Mullen. So pretty obvious that it's just between James Shane Wolf and Matthew Robinson. Two of our big three that have been dominating the season all year. Sebastian Taylor nowhere in the championship hunt. And tonight we crown the champion at USA Raceway.
When you take a look at this track, Hunter, it's a 3/4 mile high-banked oval. USA International used to host USAR, ASA, and USAC races and a variety of late model events. Located here in Lakeland, Florida, my home state, so happy to be starting the season here and ending the season here. It combines long straightaways and tight turns into a thrilling racetrack. This track demands a tuned engine and a tough chassis to get around this track's nasty bumps, and we're going to have a lot of action here tonight. Admins just went ahead and they advanced us over to the qualifying session since we got a little bit of a late start on our events tonight. So we're going to go ahead and take a look into qualifying here in a minute when we get to see who's going on tracks. Just a reminder to any of our new viewers out there, these guys only have these first 5 minutes to qualify. The next 15 minutes are reserved for a driver's meeting, which tonight, with the championship race being so important, that's going to be a huge deal. As I see Caleb Steimer in the 36, I believe is the first car on track for qualifying here for our race tonight. Looking at Steimer right now, coming off of turn 4, waiting to get a camera shot on him. There you see Jacob York on the 25 car. He's getting ready to come out to qualify. There's Steimer. Just started his first qualifying lap in the number 36, Hunter, and it's been fun to watch Caleb this year.
Yeah, it's really been really fun to watch Caleb Steimer have a third place finish at New Hampshire. It's just full of excitement, full of energy, and he always gives it his all every week. There you see he's taking the line right now. It's currently a 23.228 for Caleb Steimer. Just got moved by Sebastian Taylor, who moves to the top of the charts with a 22.227.
See Jeremy Rigney there in the 84 coming home second, or I should say putting it in second for the moment. Still got a lot more drivers that are going to come out and qualify here. Sebastian Taylor finishing lap number 2. He's actually going to pick up, it looks like, to 22.194 for Sebastian Taylor there, so even quicker on lap number 2 for him. And now here comes the championship leader, James Shane Wolf in the number 1, entering tonight as our championship leader with a 10-point lead over Matthew Robinson. He's going to go ahead and jump to the top of the charts at 22.17 for James Shane Wolf.
Yep, Shane Wolf's got to do everything he can. Currently has a 10-point cushion between him and Robinson, but you don't want to get too comfortable on that.
No, and we'll touch on the points here in a moment as Shane Wolf's coming across to finish his second lap, see if he picks up any. He does not. So it looks like the 22.17 will stand for the number 1 of James Shane Wolf. And here comes his counterpart, Matthew Robinson, the guy trying to take away the championship from him. He's making his way out onto the track to qualify right now.
Yep, Matthew Robinson won back-to-back races, won 2 weeks ago in Milwaukee, then won last weekend at Five Flags. And The Milwaukee one was definitely well earned for Robinson. He had Carter Coop and Dawson Miller essentially blocking. Not sure why they would, but Robinson had enough time at the very end to pass Michael Light for the win.
Yeah, it was barely.
Yeah, barely.
There.
So here he comes off turn 4. Down the line, it's going to be a 22.084 for Matthew Robinson. That's to the top of the charts for the number 40.
And that's a significantly faster lap than James Shainwolf right there in second. He's nearly a 10th quicker, Matthew Robinson. So clearly he's been putting in the time this week preparing for this race. And I mean, realistically, Hunter, I said we were going to touch on the points in a moment, but let's just talk about it. Robinson's only got a few ways to make up that 10-point gap. Of course, race winners will get their 45 points for finishing first. Second place gets 42 points for second. Then the bonus points come in a few different ways. Everybody gets a bonus point for qualifying in the top 12. So with 12 drivers tonight, everybody will be getting that point as Jeremy Knapp just comes across the line, puts himself in the 9th spot. The other way these guys can get a bonus point is for finishing with a 0x. They get 1 bonus point for finishing with a 0x, and that means no incidents during the feature race, so no bumps, no bangs on the car, nothing at all, really. They can't afford to have any marks because that'll take away from that bonus point. And then they also get a bonus point for leading the most laps. Not leading a lap, leading the most laps also awards you 1 bonus point. So that's a few ways that Matthew Robinson can earn some extra points tonight. Now, here's some ways that James Shainwolf can lose some points tonight, and there's really one big one, and it's if he causes a caution. He will lose himself 3 points on the night. It'll be a negative 3-point penalty if James Shainwolf brings out a yellow. So a few different ways for Robinson to come home with the championship, but more importantly, he's going to have to finish at least 4 or 5 spots ahead of James Shainwolf and have some help.
Yeah, always got to have some help when you're 10 down, because every spot is a point. So essentially speaking, Robinson would have to finish first, then Shainwolf would basically have to finish last. But if he does cause a caution, that's going to take away 3 points. And as we've seen so many times throughout the year, anything can happen. I mean, we saw last week where Sebastian Taylor and Shainwolf got into it, and both of them had significant damage. Taylor was done, but Shainwolf rallied back to finish 4th. And that, well, there goes life into the wall, but that provides the close points battle that we have right now.
He's not going to be able to finish this second lap anyways. He's coming to the end of the time here with 5 minutes pretty much expired in qualifying. So that'll close the track as he's coming across to finish the second lap. However, his first lap's obviously going to be the quicker one. Matthew Robinson takes the top spot with a 22.084 in qualifying. James Shainwolf is going to start second in heat race number 1, our only heat of the night, and we'll get to that a little bit later on. Real quick, though, Hunter, you want to take us through our qualifying results past the top 2?
Yep. Presented by America's Auto Auction of Western Michigan. Your starting lineup going to be the 40th Matthew Robinson on pole, followed by James Shainwolf in second. Third, Sebastian Taylor. Fourth, Michael Lipe. Rounding out the top 5 is Jeremy Rigney, and then behind him, you'll have Jacob Dorkin 6th, Jeremy Knapp 7th, Caleb Steimer 8th, Rick Ward 9th, Johnny Collier 10th, and then rounding out the last 2 positions. Just had my thing disappear. Ed Morris Sr. 11th, and Ian Gagliano in 12th. He did not put up a lap time. Sorry, my timing just disappeared on my screen, and now I got it back.
It's all good. So these guys are now going to go ahead and jump into their drivers meeting. Real quick, though, we did open up the poll once again for our chat and everybody watching here on Twitch. If you guys are interested in betting your channel points, I'll go ahead actually and add to everybody who's watching right now, I'll go ahead and add 10 loyalty points to you. So every single viewer right now is going to have 10 points to use to bet with, as I'm trying to get the points in there. There they go. So I just added 10 points to all of our viewers. You can use those to bet on who you think is going to win tonight. That just opened up in the chat. All you got to do is put ! bet and then the last name of the driver you think is going to win. And then you can wager those 10 points I just gifted to everybody watching the stream right now. And then later on in the night, we'll see who's right, and you'll get to take home a big share of those points for our viewing audience. And those points, we'll talk about those later on and how you can use those. But they're definitely something you're going to want to stack up.
Yep, indeed we will, as we have the dreadful drivers meeting. Now, this is the last drivers meeting of the season, so a lot of close talks here with the rest of the competitors. Don't want to throw in any championship implications in any way towards any of the championship drivers, as it is only Matthew Robinson and James Shane Wolf who have a chance at taking home the championship tonight.
I want to go through a few things. Extreme Motorsports just released a press release. If we got a minute here, and I'll just go ahead and kind of read it off to the chat here just to let everybody know. To the Extreme community, effective immediately, Extreme Motorsports 99 league owner Rick Donathan has stepped down and relinquished responsibility of the league to newly named president Ed Morris, competition director GT Hawkins, and production coordinator Jacob Bell. Mr. Rick, which is me, by the way. Mr. Rick Donathan established Extreme Motorsports 99 several years ago with one goal in mind: provide the most realistic virtual racing experience possible. Since then, the league has grown to undeniable levels of competition and excitement. While this decision was not an easy one to make, we feel that we are more than able to continue to grow and build upon the community already put in place. We look forward to the upcoming season and can't wait to unveil our plans for the future. With roughly 1 month until the start of our next season, we are thrilled to begin racing once again. We'd like to thank Rick Donathan for the incredible amount of time and energy he put into this community, and we plan on exceeding expectations of what this community can become. Sincerely, Ed Morris, GT Hawkins, and myself. And that just got put up on the Facebook page, and that is the official release. I just want to take a moment here to thank Rick Donathan for everything he's done for this league. I mean, the energy and effort he's put in is beyond question. He's been a superior league owner, and the reason why this thing's been around for as long as it has is because of the effort he's put in. So I just want to give a big shout out to Rick Donathan, but we are excited, Ed Morris, GT Hawkins, and myself, for the future of this league and some of our new plans we have coming up for the upcoming season.
Yep, indeed, and it's some. Sorry, Ryan, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to touch on it. You know, it's going to be, obviously we're all thankful for what Rick did for, I know for the last 5 seasons I've been in. It's going to be nice to, I know he had some obligations he's been having to go through the last couple of years and some other stuff, but it's going to be nice to have somebody there and be hands-on with it between GT, Ed, and Jake as well. So it's going to be a fun change for next season. I know there's a whole lot of other stuff that ain't been announced yet, so I'm really looking forward to it.
Was trying to get the. We got 10 minutes left before our first and only heat and the last heat of the season for the Rick's Hot Sauce Late Model Series. It'll be the Miller Racing Graphics Heat Race numero uno, the only one. There you take a look at our weather presented by Lottie'sTravelWorld.com. We have clear skies tonight, cool track temp and cool air temp, 77 for the air, 80 for the track, 56% humidity, and winds from the north still at 2 miles an hour.
That was some nice weather.
Always some nice weather.
So we got the Country Road Sports Cards Championship 100. I want to give a big shout out to Country Road Sports Cards for all their support this season. And of course, one of our bigger sponsors we've had here, and it's going to be awesome to see their name on the championship race tonight. And it's been a privilege to work with them. I also want to give a shout out tonight, since we are only going to have the first heat, which is presented by Miller Racing Graphics. I want to give a big shout out to Dogtopia for our sponsor of heat race number 2 all season long. They've done a good job, or they've done a great job helping us out. And obviously we want to send a lot of people their way as a big thank you to them. So big thanks to Dogtopia and Country Road Sports Cards, America's Auto Auction, Miller Racing Graphics, and all the sponsors here for the season of Rick's Hot Sauce Late Model Series Season 1. It's been truly an honor to put this season together and be alongside Hunter and Harold every week, and just really looking forward to next season and seeing all the changes and stuff we're going to have here within the Extreme community. And what is going to come in the future is definitely exciting stuff. So I appreciate all the support. I think Jacob York actually just gifted a sub in the Twitch channel, so appreciate that, Jacob York.
He gifted it to you.
No, he gifted a sub to my own thing. That's cool, but I appreciate the support regardless. But he said, thanks for everything this season, guys. Hate I'm not in the title fight, but glad it got to be broadcasted this year. And I think that's very well said. to see Jeremy Knapp down there in chat as well. Good luck, drivers, tonight. Let's give all the people that tune in a great show to finish out this season.
Yep, indeed, and what a great season it's been. Had quite a lot of ups and downs throughout this. At the beginning, we had our first. Seemed like it was just Sebastian Taylor, James Shanewolf, and Matthew Robinson just dominating every week, and then Jacob York pulled through due to Michael Leip's misfortune, and been chaos ever since the playoffs started.
I just want to remind you guys again, we do have the bets open for who is going to win the race later on tonight. All you got to do is put exclamation point bet and then the last name of the driver you think is going to win tonight, and then you can use those 10 channel points. I think everybody should have at least 10 channel points if you're watching. So you put exclamation point bet, the last name of the driver you think is going to win, and then the number 10 after that to lock in your bet for the race winner here tonight at USA for the Country Road Sports Cards Championship 100. We want to take another look here at the point standings. Again, you got Matthew Robinson only 10 points behind James Shanewolf. We talked about the different ways Shanewolf can either win the championship or lose the championship. That 10-point cushion sounds like a lot, and with only 12 drivers, obviously it is a decent chunk that Matthew Robinson's going to have to make up. But it is possible. If Matthew Robinson finishes in first place, like I said, first place finishers get 45 points. If he leads the most laps, that's going to bump him up to 46. And if he gets a 0x, that's going to bump him up to 47. And that means if Shanewolf finishes, second at best, that's already a 5-point gap he was able to make up. So it is doable. Not to mention if James Shanewolf is called at fault for caution tonight, that's a negative 3-point penalty. So there's a few different ways to win or lose the championship tonight. But I would say if you're James Shanewolf, realistically, the goal for him is to pretty much finish inside the top 5. It's going to be hard for Matthew Robinson to win the championship if Shanewolf is able to do that. And if you're Matthew Robinson, all you can do is go out there and try to lead every single lap.
Indeed, and it's very doable. I mean, we'll have a 6-lap heat to start everything out. And we have these two on the front row, James Shanewolf and Matthew Robinson, actually reverse that. Robinson on pole, Shanewolf in second. And we know that a lot can happen in just the heats as well. So it'll be interesting to see how aggressive these two are and how aggressive the rest of the field may be.
I was going to talk about the points there again. Look at the race we got for third. 2 points separates third place in points Jeremy Knapp all the way back to 6th place in points Johnny Collier. No Carter Coop tonight, so that'll drop him out of the race. But Jeremy Knapp, Jacob York, Johnny Collier, they're all going to be vying for that third place spot. I mean, a podium finish in the late model series is pretty cool to be able to put your name on that. And how about the season for Jeremy Knapp? 13 top 10s in 14 races. He's by far got the most top 10s this year. So pretty consistent for Jeremy Knapp and all of his viewers out there watching. We appreciate that. Obviously, the wins, you can see, have been pretty much split between James Shanewolf and Matthew Robinson, winning 10 of our 14 races. Jacob York was able to snag another. And then Sebastian Taylor with 2 wins that came in the first 5 races of the season. Since then, I haven't seen him back to victory lane, so we'll have to keep an eye on the 27 car to see what he can do tonight as well.
Yep. Not to mention the one other win this season went to Michael Leip, and it was his first career start into the Hot Sauce. Yeah, in the Rick's Hot Sauce Late Model Series. He won at New Hampshire, which was the cutoff race before the chase. And he's been impressive ever since. So you see we have just about 4 minutes to go before our heat.
You able to get your recap video in?
Well, it's processing longer than usual. I wish I would have had it up sooner, but if I knew it was going to take this long, I wish I would have had it up sooner. But it's not fully processed yet.
I had to make sure I got my bet in there. I just put my 10 channel points on Matthew Robinson. That's who my pick is going to be to win tonight. I don't even have to wait till the heat race. I already know who my pick is.
Yeah, who gave right to get the first pick tonight, Jake?
I'm talking about on the Twitch chat. On the Twitch chat.
All right. I'm just making sure because I thought today, if I remember correctly, you were early to pick last week too, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, I haven't been very successful so far. So, you know what? I'm taking Robinson. I'm putting my 10 points on him. Jacob York is actually putting his 10 points on Michael Leip, which is interesting. See Hendry Dirt out there in chat, which is my buddy Randy from the track. He said it's been a great first season of Rick's Hot Sauce Late Model Racing. Appreciate you, Randy, for tuning in, man. You've been a huge part of the community as well, a big supporter of all of our broadcast. And watching all of Extreme Motorsports 99 throughout the week. So got to give a big shout out to Randy. I don't know if a lot of people know about him in our teams and stuff, but Randy's a big time viewer, man. He's there for every single race.
Let's put Randy's in the chat.
You know,
I'm telling you. Go ahead, Harold.
I was gonna say that, I was going to, but I think for the betterment of the driver, I'm not picking this week.
Ooh, okay. I think I know who your pick is just off of that. I think I'm getting the vibe there, but
I don't want to wipe somebody out, like it's Hunter's like, I got the commentator's curse is what it seems like. So I'm not mentioning any names this week.
Gonna be interesting. Just 2 minutes before our heat, Miller Racing Graphics heat number 1, and the only one of the night.
I think these guys in chat are thinking they got more channel points than they really do. Somebody just tried to bet 1,000 on James Shanewolf, but I don't think they got that kind of bread yet. I think I got 10 channel points maybe that you could bet, but not 1,000.
just keep betting 10.
I think 10's the easiest. I think everybody should have at least 10 because I try to gift. When the poll opens up, try to gift everybody 10. Still got a lot of bets coming in for Shane Wolf, but none of them are getting processed. You guys are betting too much. You got to knock it down to 10, not 1,000.
I figured that out. It's only 10. I have 1K. Well, there you go. You can just keep betting in 10 every time. You can bet up until the green flag of the main event.
It'll say if their bet's been placed or not. It sounds like also they're going to advance for this last minute here. And the Pack 56 putting the bet in backwards. You got to put exclamation point bet and then the last name and then the channel points.
I'm here to say, whoever that guy is, man, just get it together, man. We've been doing this for 10 weeks.
I'll put an example in, and I'll do it on the channel, on the actual Extreme channel. So you do exclamation point bet, the last name of the driver you think is going to win, and then number 10 after that. So I put 10 points on Miller, even though Miller is not in the field tonight, but that's just your example there. All right, Hunter, we got heat race number 1 lining up.
Yep, it's the Country Road Sports Cars starting grid for Miller Racing Graphics heat number 1. In the front row, you'll have championship contenders Matthew Robinson on the inside, and on his outside, James Shanewolf in the 1.
Starting in row number 2, Sebastian Taylor in the 27. We got our big 3 from the start of the season starting the 1, 2, 3 for this heat. Michael Leip's going to start 4th. Jeremy Rigney is going to start 5th, and Jacob York's going to round out row number 3.
Row number 4, we'll have Jeremy Knapp starting 7th, and then alongside him, Caleb Steimer starting 8th. Row number 5, it's going to have Rick Ward starting 9th, and starting 10th is Johnny Collier. And in the last row, we'll have Ed Moore starting 11th, Dean Gagliano starting 12th.
It looks like we're going to come to the green flag, I believe, this time around, or are we getting an extra pace lap here? Can't tell.
So the lights are out on the pace car.
He's going one more time around. Randy, just a quick suggestion. You put exclamation point bet Robinson 10. You got to space out the Robinson in the 10, and then your bet will go in. This is a very complicated process. I wish we could make it a little easier. But yeah, we got our second pace lap going up here. All right, let's get down to the nit and gritty, the important stuff. Miller Racing Graphics heat race number 1. Matthew Robinson, James Shanewolf on the front row. Our championship battle is going to start basically side by side for this one. You think they're going to get aggressive down in turn 1 and 2, Ryan, or you think they're going to try to take it easy?
Oh, I think the first couple rows will be all right. You get back there with Rigney and York and Knapp. I think they'll get a little over their heads, and we'll have to see what happens here. And
I really like this camera shot we got here by Harold Darner, our producer, killing it up there in the broadcast booth. Okay, pace car is in, green flag's out, and Matthew Robinson's getting a really good start here in Miller Racing Graphics heat race number 1.
He's going to clear the one of Shanewolf as they come through turn 2. Down the backstretch they go for the first time. Robinson with the early lead. Shanewolf right behind. The 27 of Taylor following him. And then behind those 3, you have Jacob York and Michael Leip side by side for 4th.
At lap 1 in the books here, Jacob York making the move for 4th. Like Hunter just mentioned on his cousin there, Michael Leip. He's able to complete the pass. We're single file all the way to the top 5. Next battle we see is between Caleb Steimer and Jeremy Rigney. That's for the 6th spot as they go side by side down the back straightaway and into turn 3. Matthew Robinson still showing the way.
Yeah, kind of have a little breakaway here between the top 5 and then the rest of the field.
This is one of my
Great
favorite
shot in
tracks
the
on the
stands,
schedule. Yeah. The camera shots are awesome. The battling is great. As you see, Steimer still working side by side with Jeremy Rigney. Those two have been pretty much locked together since the start of the race. Now he's going to clear him and bring Jeremy Knapp by him. Michael Light goes back under attack with...
Oh, there goes Rigney. Rigney spun around. Don't believe he hit the wall, but he spun up and he's out of the groove. No cautions in the heats. We still have 3 to go. As Robinson leads the way, Shane Wolf still second. Those are the top 2 that we're focusing on, or going to be focusing on for the brief majority of the night. Do we see any... Oh, sorry. I was going to say, do we see any aggression coming out of the one in the last 2 laps?
I don't think in the heat, but I do think we got a really nice top 5 running right now, almost bumper to bumper around the track. I wanted to mention this is one of my favorite tracks on the schedule, and it's also the only track we get to visit twice in a season, which is a rarity in itself for our league, Extreme Motorsports 99. This is the first time, I believe, ever that we've been to the same track twice within a season. We started the season at USA, and it was a day race. Now we're ending the season here at USA, and it's a night race, as the white flag is given in Miller Racing Graphics Heat Race number 1.
Coming off turn 2, the 27 of Taylor looks low. It's not going to be underneath the 1. And coming through turns 3 and 4 for the final time in Miller Racing Graphics Heat Race number 1, it's going to be the 40 of Matthew Robinson getting it done.
That's an important win for him. You got to remember, the finishing results of the heat race are going to determine the starting lineup for the feature race. So for Matthew Robinson to go ahead and win that race, that means he will start first for our feature race. And that's what he's going to have to do if he plans on leading the most laps tonight and getting that extra bonus point. So we take a look at our results there. You see your top 10. We'll just go ahead and jump straight into the starting lineup since it's going to be the exact same as the finishing results here. So let's jump into our starting lineup presented by Country Road Sports Cards. Matthew Robinson and James Shane Wolf on the front row. Once again, our championship battle. James Shane Wolf comes into tonight with a 10-point lead over Matthew Robinson, and those two are going to start in row number 1.
Row number 2 will have the 27 car Sebastian Taylor starting 3rd, and alongside him will be the 26 of Michael Light starting 4th.
Jacob York will start 5th tonight. Outside of him is going to be Caleb Steimer in the number 36.
Row 4, it'll be Jeremy Knapp in the 20, and alongside him, the 33 of Johnny Collier.
And rounding out our field tonight, Ed Morris Sr. is going to start 9th. Rick Ward is going to start 10th. Jeremy Rigney and Dean Gagliano will start in row 6. These guys are rolling off here. We're going to get 2 pace laps, and then we're going to be underway for the final race of the Rick's Hot Sauce Late Model Series season, the Country Road Sports Cards Championship 100. It's been a really, really fun year. I want to remind you guys that the polls for who you think is going to win the race tonight will close as soon as we get to green flag here. So make sure you guys get your bets in as soon as you can here. And in case we haven't made it clear enough, I'm going to put my chips on the table. I'm going Matthew Robinson for my pick tonight, boys.
Oh, are we doing picks for the championship, or are we doing picks for the race?
We'll do picks for the race. I think the championship, it's a 50-50 shot. So let's see who you got for the race tonight.
Okay, so Jake took Robinson. I'm going to go ahead and go on a limb here. I'll take the 26 of Michael Light.
It would be really nice to see something go right for him after the last couple of weeks. I am going with the number 1 Thunder Valley Tavern Chevrolet James Shane Wolf.
And we already know Harold's not going to name any drivers and curse them for tonight. So he's going to stay silent on that.
Come on, Harold. You got somebody.
He zipped his mouth shut.
I can't do it. I can't do it. 'Cause I'm not going to get blown up in chat. No way. Not doing it.
Alrighty, here we go. Pace car pulls into pit road, and the final race of the season is underway. The Country Road Sports Cards Championship 100 is green.
Amos wastes no time, dives right in front of Sebastian Taylor. He's going to jump into 2nd place. Kind of throws a nice move there on the 27. That's going to stack up the rest of the field behind him as you see side-by-side battle for 3rd. Michael Light's actually able to make the move on the top side of the racetrack and take over the 3rd spot. Lap 1, though, goes to Matthew Robinson. He's going to need to lead a lot of these if he wants to take home the championship here tonight.
He needs to lead at least 51 laps if he wants to clinch that bonus point for leading the most laps. So you see a little bit of a shakeup there coming off turn 2. That's going to allow the 36 of Steimer to get underneath the 27 of Taylor and move Caleb Steimer into the top 5 only momentarily. Here comes Taylor back on the bottom as they go into turn 1.
I was gonna give a big shout out there to Caleb Steimer. I think he finished 5th or 6th in the heat race. Pretty strong run for the 36.
Yep, just a tad earlier. Steimer finished 3rd at New Hampshire, and he's kind of been fading towards the back ever since. But it's looking like he's had a really solid car so far tonight.
Steimer's definitely been improving each and every week. You mentioned the 3rd place finish at New Hampshire. Another guy who's been improving all season long, and we got to give a huge shout out to him, is Johnny Collier in the 33. I mean, he's had some really, really strong runs here as of late, and he's working his way inside the top 8 now. He sits in that 8th spot, just in front of a battle between Ed Morris Sr. and Jeremy Rigney. We got 5 laps up on the board. Matthew Robinson in first. How about the shakeup for second? Michael Leip's able to take the spot away from James Shainwolf.
Yep, was just about to touch up on that. Michael Leip still in the 2nd spot, and that's crucial because Michael Leip is not a championship driver. Even though he's got a win already this year, he's kind of a pickle in between this championship 2 here. Helpful for Robinson, not so helpful for Shainwolf.
Easy deal or bread and butter?
Well, I like bread and butter because I like toast. Oh, and speaking of toast, that 25 car just smacked the wall.
I think he was talking about the pickles. Oh, I got to close the bets. I'll let anybody, if they want to get a last bet in real quick, but we got to close the bets for who you think's going to win tonight. You put exclamation point bet, the driver's last name, and then the number 10 after that, but make sure you space them out. I'll give you guys a few more minutes here on that. Bet though, Hunter.
Sorry, I was talking about my liking for toast.
Yeah.
Yep, as the 25 smacked the wall. Now we're going to ride in car with the 26 of Michael Leip as he roars down the front stretch trying to catch the 40 of Robinson. And now we go a little bit further towards the rear of the field as 20 of Jeremy Knapp's going to pass 36 of Steimer. And behind these two, it's a battle for, that's the 8th spot between Johnny Collier in the 33 and the 84 of Jeremy Rigney. Still nose to tail. Into turn 1. Boy, the 36 of Steimer still on the bumper of Knapp. He wants a spot back.
I like what I'm seeing out of Caleb Steimer tonight. He's been kind of aggressive, but at a track like USA where it's extremely big and it's going to get harder to pass as the tires start to wear, you got to make those spots early and you got to make those passes quick. I mean, he's fallen back a little bit since the start of the race, but got to give him an A for effort, and he's looking good tonight. Another guy who's looking good tonight is car sitting right in front of him, Jeremy Knapp in the 20, already up to the 6th spot. Of course, we touched on it earlier in the pre-race show. Jeremy Knapp has the most top 10s this season out of every single driver with 13 top 10s in 14 races. So it's been a pretty consistent year for Jeremy Knapp. We'll see if he can get top 10 number 14 here tonight.
Yep, and in the middle of that, you saw the 84 of Rigney pass the 33 of Collier. That's going to be for the 8th spot. And now Rigney has his eyes set on the 36 of Steimer here.
10 laps in the books here as the Country Road Sports Cards Championship 100 is kind of going along here a little quicker than I thought it would, with the track being 3/4 of a mile. I thought this race would take a little bit, but these guys are putting some serious laps down, and we're taking these laps right off the board. You see James Shainwolf coming through turn 3 and 4. That number 1, I got to give him a shout out. That paint scheme just looks great on that car. I'm a big fan of white race cars with, blue lettering and blue designs on them, and I think his car looks really, really sharp out there. So if I had to give a point out to my favorite scheme, it'd probably be that one of James Shainwolf. And what'd you say the sponsor was on there?
Thunder Valley Tavern.
The Thunder Valley Tavern. Okay. You been there?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
right outside of the Bristol Motor Speedway.
He mentioned that he lost his wallet
In a river.
in a river.
Not going to
Then you got our
describe that
leader.
night, but it's all right.
Our leader, Matthew Robson, kind of running the polar opposite scheme. He's got the black car with orange lettering, and Shainwolf with the white car with blue lettering on there. So exact opposite, but he's got the Dogtopia logos all over his machine. Does the 40 of Matthew Robinson. I also want to give a shout out to Dogtopia for sponsoring us this season.
I want to give a big shout out to the color scheme on the 26. I think it a little wild look there compared to the other weeks.
That's a good point. We're talking about color schemes, and we glanced right over the pink and orange car that we got there on the 26th of Michael Leip, but it's like it's a tribute scheme there to somebody. It says love and memory there on the front.
Very nice paint scheme. Stands out with the pink on the top. And you got bright yellow. Yellow is my favorite color.
I believe
With
that says
the light
Wanda.
blue.
I was gonna say, I believe that says Wanda Powell. So, love and memory for Wanda Powell. So, a pretty cool tribute there, actually, by Michael Lipe in the 26.
Yep, indeed. And you can see he's got the neon steering gloves.
Oh, yeah.
Gloves on the steering wheels. You can see him work the car through the corners.
Oh, look at that
There's
shot. How
another
about
shot.
that? And a Monster Energy helmet.
Okay, Ty Gibbs, I see you.
I think we got to get iRacing to update our dash here or something. That was not looking good inside that race car. But let's get back to the action here. It seems like Robinson and Lipe are kind of pulling away from James Shainwolf. Shainwolf's got to deal with the 25 of Jacob York and the 27 of Sebastian Taylor. I mean, Taylor is no slouch at USA. We got to remember he's had some really, really strong runs at the beginning part of the season. And, of course, he kicked it off, I believe, with a victory at USA in race number 1.
We also have to touch up that the 1 and the 25 have history, although it's subsided quite a bit since then. Does that come into play here as York gets closer to the bumper of Shane Wolf?
Well, for Shane Wolf's hopes, that 3 points is off the board if he gets an incident here. So if Matthew Robinson ends up with a 0x and he doesn't, it could get a little bit tighter on the points.
I do want to correct myself. It was actually Matthew Robinson who won race number 1 here at USA. Sebastian Taylor won the next 2 at Southern National in Nashville. So Robinson is actually our defending race winner at this track, and I think we're seeing a little bit why that was right now, as he's been leading since the drop of the green flag in this. Actually, he's been leading since the drop of the heat race green flag.
Yep, indeed he has. He's led every single lap since the drop of the green flag from the heat. And following him in hot pursuit is the 26 of Michael Lipe as we ride on board with him down the front stretch.
A lot of Shane Wolf supporters down in chat tonight. I see AT Bryant down there cheering him on. It looks like Repeat as well. It's got One Mind to Design paint schemes on that number 1, so I want to give them a shout out too.
Looks like the 40 got pretty close to hitting the wall there. He lost a little bit of time to the 26. We got a real battle for the lead here.
Yep, the 26 of Lipe not letting up on the 40 of Robinson at all, ready to pounce on any mistake that 40 car makes. But you see the 26 of Lipe is tight down to the bottom, a little bit tighter than the 40 of Robinson.
And I think if you're Matthew Robinson right now, this is like the last thing you want to see. You're leading the race, you're trying to get the most laps led, have a perfect night, and then you got the 26 of Michael Lipe almost in on the back door of your machine, and it's just aggravating, man, if you're in that position. But obviously Michael Lipe has been pretty quick tonight, and I think he actually might even be a little bit quicker than the 40 right now.
Oh, only time will tell.
You got to think Matthew Robinson didn't have to deal with Lipe the first time he was here. This is Lipe's first start at this racetrack, so we don't know what he was going to showcase whenever we first got out today.
I just think USA is such a strong track, especially for these late models that we've been running, just because it gives you a lot of racing opportunity. The straightaways are extremely long. It lets you build up a run, get down to the corner, kind of try to outbrake each other because you got that banking down there to kind of catch you just in case you're driving in too deep. So just a super fun racetrack, and obviously we're seeing some pretty good racing at the front of the field right now between Matthew Robinson and Michael Lipe. 26 laps down, 75 laps to go here in the Country Road Sports Cards Championship 100.
I was just about to say, you can see how wide the straightaways are and even the turns. Plenty of room to make a mistake and get out of the way of the rest of the field. So that 26 of Lipe still not letting up on the 40 of Robinson.
No, those two are definitely not giving each other a break, and I think Robinson's going to protect that lead super hard, and I think Lipe is going to be somewhat patient with it. I don't think he's going to try to force the issue. I think he's done a really good job as a driver who's not in the playoffs, being a guy who's been respectful to the playoff drivers every single race so far this chase or this playoffs, whatever you want to call it. Lipe's done a good job of racing these guys with respect, racing them clean, and simultaneously running them, hard and trying to win races. So I think it's been a pretty impressive season for Michael Lipe. I'm excited to see what he does
the
next
40
year.
of Robinson just clipped the wall, and speaking of Michael Lipe, he's going to go down on the bottom in turn 1. Side by side for the lead. Robinson all the way up top. He clipped the wall coming out of turn 4, and it's going to cost him the lead. New leader, 26 of Michael Lipe.
If you're Matthew Robinson, you got to remember you cannot get any incident points tonight, and you can get a 2x if you hit the wall. I don't think that one is going to be worthy of a 2x. I think they'll let him slide with a 0x on that. I don't think he hit the wall quite hard enough, but you got to keep the car clean. You got to have a perfect night, and right now Michael Leip is putting an end to that. He just took the lead away on lap number 29. Leip also kind of starting to pull away a little bit. He's already stretched it out to nearly a half-second lead. Robinson washes up the track again on the exit of turn 4. It's all the 26 right now at the front of the field. He's pulling away, and now the doors kind of opened up for James Shanewolf to get to Matthew Robinson and maybe try to rough him up a little bit and let him know that, this championship's not going to go down easily, as Robinson needed a perfect night. Doesn't look like it's going to happen. There you see Sebastian Taylor up to 4th now. Sebastian looking really strong tonight as well.
Yep, we'd like to point out also, we've seen Jeremy Rigney move up to 6th on the track. Ed Morris has cracked the top 10 as he passed the 33 of Collier. There you see.
Good call out there on Rigney, up 5 spots since the start of the race in that number 84. He's been really, really patient and just kind of biding his time. Of course, he had to start at the rear because we saw the incident in the heat race he had when he was running up near the 6th spot and he got turned around there. So that pretty much cost him the track position in the starting lineup here tonight, but he's rebounded quite well.
Yep, and he's got quite a ways to go if he wants to catch the 25 of Jacob York.
The top 5 seem to be I was going to say the top 5 drivers seem to be the class of the field tonight. It's been the same top 5 that we saw in the heat race, the same top 5 we saw in qualifying. Nobody's really been able to touch them. I will give a special shout out though to Michael Leip. I mean, he started 4th. And he's worked his way up to the lead. Everybody else is pretty much, with the exception of him and Jeremy Rigney, kind of, are running where they started. But Leip passed. I mean, the ability to pass from 4th to 1st, a lot harder passes than from 11th to 6th. You know what I mean? Those guys up front are super quick, and if you're going to get around them, you got to be really, really fast.
Yep, and that's what the 26 of Michael Leip is doing. So he's got a 7-car length lead over Robinson.
Also, you got to remember, with 50% fuel, these guys are going to be probably needing to come down pit road here within the next 15 or 20 laps. So that'll be something to keep an eye on. The tires are wearing. They only get 1 extra set of tires in the pits. So when do they put that set on is another question that a lot of these guys are going to have. I think if you're somebody like James Shanewolf who just needs to have a solid night, as we see a slow car down there on the apron, I believe that is the 41. Yeah, the Dean Gagliano. He's coming and bringing his car down in the pit road right now. Not sure what happened there. You see him down there on pit road now. So not quite sure what's going on with Dean. Maybe this is a scheduled pit stop for him, but he's already lost a lap. So we'll have to see how this changes his strategy for the night.
I want to say he might have missed pit road the first time around. So he was already about to go lap down, so he just decided to try and get on the pit road, but I would assume he missed the first stall for the first time down pit road. So it's going to cost him another lap or 2.
Keep an eye on the 26 of Michael Leip right now. If you look just out the windshield, he's got a lap car in the form of Rick Ward in the 34, so he's already been able to catch the back half of the field now, and he's going to have to work his way through lap traffic. He's got Rick Ward just in front of him, and then a few more seconds up the racetrack is the 33 of Johnny Collier.
Well, we know how lap traffic a bit was last week. Obviously costed Matthew Robinson a little bit, but even though he still won the race. But they can kind of be a hazard once you get backed up to the leaders.
And there goes Rick Ward up top to let the leader of Michael Leip go. Not what Matthew Robinson wanted to see.
He does the same thing though for Matthew Robinson. Rick Ward's going to pull up the racetrack, let the 40 go by. He's also going to give the bottom there to the 1 of James Shanewolf when they come off of turn 4 side by side there. So not a good look there for a good look there, I mean to say, for Rick Ward, racing these guys up front, really respectful, letting them go. So you see James Shanewolf has kind of closed that gap just a little bit in terms of catching the 40 and Matthew Robinson. He's closed up to just about a half second behind him. Up front, though, Michael Leip continues to stretch out the lead.
Yeah, be stretched to almost a second over Matthew Robinson. Would have to assume that within the next 10 laps or so, we'll see these guys come down pit road. And do we see a little strategy call from either one of these guys. Could be the 40 of Robinson to try and get an edge. The one of Shane Wolf could take 2 tires and come out a little bit ahead.
This is going to be the most important strategy call of the season. It's going to be, when do you put on the tires tonight? It's a long race. They're not even halfway done yet. We're on lap 43 of 100. And I know that those tires are getting worn out each and every lap. And I mean, by now they're going to be pretty slow. If you take a look at the lap times right now compared to what they were running at the start of the race. The start of the race, Michael Light was running 22.2s, and they're all the way down now to 22.8s and 9s. So nearly 0.8 of a second of fall off in those tires. So fresh tires is going to be key to the victory tonight. It's going to be the decision of when do you put those tires on, and do you wait? Do you try to take 2 tires like Hunter mentioned? Do you wait to put on your 4 tires? It's going to be really, really critical for Matthew Robinson and James Shane Wolf tonight, as we got another lap car there, 33 of Johnny Collier. Michael Light's putting him 1 lap down now, as well as Dean Gagliano still sits on pit road.
The 27 Sebastian Taylor's come down pit road.
Wow, I missed that. Yeah, Sebastian Taylor, you're right. He's on pit road now. I'm going to take a look here. I'll see if he puts on right sides, left sides, fuel only. So he's just now pulling into his box, waiting to see if the right sides go up on that race car. I do not. There they go. Right sides are up on the 27, so he's going to put on at least 2 tires. We'll have to see if they come around and put on the lefts now. And it looks like it's a 2-tire only stop for Sebastian Taylor in the 27 car.
Taylor's going to come out 11th, only 1 lap down, it looks like.
It's a big deal, though, to be that first guy on pit road. A lot of times that's a big difference. So we'll have to pay attention to the lap times that Taylor starts laying with those 2 fresh tires and compare those to the leaders on the older tires.
Yeah, but I was thinking if anyone would try to do 2-tire stop, it would be Matthew Robinson, and it would be right sides too. I would assume he'd take.
I don't know. I think maybe Robinson is probably going to be a little aggressive with his strategy and try to save those tires till the end to kind of ensure that he'll have a race win. But then again, that only works if we have a caution. Right now, we're working lap 48. We're almost halfway through this thing without a single yellow flag so far.
You talk about people doing aggressive pit strategy. I think one of the big ones for these top 4 guys who are right here with each other, I think would be how you get in and off of pit road.
That's a good point.
It looks like a tricky pit entrance from what I've seen in 3 and 4. You might get caught up in something if you ain't careful.
Take a look at the lap time. Sebastian Taylor on his 2 fresh tires is running a half a second quicker than the field. Now we see the 25 of Jacob Yorkin. We'll see what strategy decision he decides to go with. Remember, folks, these guys only have 1 set of tires down on pit road. So it's critical when they put that set on, if they put 2 tires on, if they put 4 tires on, maybe even no tires and try to save the set for later on in the race. I see the right sides going up on the 25 of Jacob York. So he's taking at least 2 tires, and that's going to be the call. He's all the way off of pit road now. It's going to be right sides only for the 25.
Seems like that might be a trend for all the lead lap cars. As Jacob York was pitting from the 4th position, he's going to come out 11th, about 1 lap down.
He's also going to come out behind Sebastian Taylor by a decent amount. That's an important thing to notice there. As you see the 84 now, Jeremy Rigney's coming down pit road to make his pit stop. Sebastian Taylor did a really, really good job by getting on and off pit road, and like Ryan mentioned, doing it quickly and then starting to put down those lap times as soon as possible. So he's already got himself a pretty good gap between the 25. So we'll have to see what happens when the leaders decide to come down pit road.
But there you see the 40 of Robinson just slowly starting to chip away at the lead from 26 of Light. It's gone down to about 7 car lengths between the 2. And Shane Wolf still about 1 second behind the 40 of Robinson.
Here we go. We got Jeremy Rigney, who's on pit road now. He's actually about to leave his box. It was a 4-tire stop for the 84 Jeremy Rigney. So I'm curious to see the difference in lap times with the 4 tires versus the 2 tires versus the old tires here. So we'll have to get that up on the screen for you guys here to take a look at our most recent lap times throughout the field. As right now, Michael Light continues to show the way. You got Matthew Robinson running him down in 2nd. Jeremy Rigney just now coming off of pit road, so we'll pay attention to see what times he's running. You see Jacob York now with a 22.3, over a half a second quicker, almost 7/10 quicker than the top 3 cars right now. So these guys are going to be coming down to pit road sooner rather than later.
Yep, that could be the case.
They're giving up a lot of track time right now by staying out there on those older tires, especially considering the fact that Jacob York and Sebastian Taylor, those guys only took 2 tires and they're still running that much quicker.
I tell you what, boys, if I'm Shane Wolf, I'm getting on the pit road as hard as I can. I ain't got anybody behind me right now. Unlike the other two who kind of have to worry about getting ran over, I pushed the limit here to get on pit road.
You see Jeremy Rigney just clocked in a 22.2, so he's about a tenth quicker than those guys who took those 2-tire stops. So looks like the 4 tires are a little bit more of an advantage in terms of lap time than the 2-tire stops. So I was curious to see how those panned out. Bjork still, though, he's stuck behind the 34 of Rick Ward. He's not been able to get close to Sebastian Taylor.
The problem with Rigney taking 4 tires, though, is he's another lap down. He's a lap behind Sebastian Taylor as well.
Right, yeah, he gave up a lot. Well, he didn't really have a choice. He had to start at the back of the field because of that incident in the heat race, and that kind of set him behind from the start. And with no yellows, it's really, really tough to make up the track position. But I think he might be able to get that lap back by the time the leaders come down pit road. See, Rigney's already, right now, you can take a look, he's already working on the 27 of Sebastian Taylor. He just blew by him. And remember, Taylor's the guy who took 2 tires. So, of course, those two aren't on the same lap right now, but really, really quick right now for the 84 of Jeremy Rigney in that Johnsonville machine.
Robinson slowly drifted away from the 26 of Leip. Now we have the 20 of Jeremy Knapp coming on the pit road. Oh, there's some blinking there. 27. We're going to ride on board the number 40 of Robinson. Oh, that's Taylor. Right on board with someone.
Jeremy Rigney, got to give him a special shout out. He's done a good job with those fresh tires of putting them to good use. I mean, if you're going to take the 4 tires, got to get them on and get going quickly. And he's wasted no time getting around those guys that were a little bit slower than him and getting into that clear track, which is very important. Jeremy Knapp just came off the pit road, it looks like, so I'll have to go back and see what the strategy play was for Jeremy and the 20 team.
I believe it was only 2 tires for the 20 machine.
Right side tires on the 20.
Yep. So there's the one of Shane Wolf all over the bumper of the 40 of Robinson. We're 60 laps down, have about 40 to go here. The Country Road Sports Cards Championship 100. Gotta be wondering when any of these top 3 are gonna come down pit road.
Comes to 40 now, just got the call over the radio, jumps right down on pit road in front of James Shane Wolf. I don't think that was by accident. I don't think he waited till Shane Wolf got to his back bumper and then last minute hit the brakes and pulled it onto pit road. I think he was trying to force Shane Wolf into an error there, to be honest with you. So a little bit of gamesmanship there by the 40 Matthew Robinson. We'll have to see what he decides to do now as he's entering his pit box in that Dogtopia number 40 machine. Member of JW Racing, who's had a pretty good season, sitting second in points, 10 points behind James Shane Wolf for the championship, as he gets right side tires up on that car right now, potentially the last pit stop of the season here on lap 63 of 100 in the Country Road Sports Cards Championship 100. Matthew Robinson's out of his box, 2 tires.
They'll come out right with the 27.
Yeah, right behind the 27. That's what I said. Sebastian Taylor did a good job being that first guy on pit road. Bought him some extra track position. Now he's in front of the 40 of Matthew Robinson, and we'll have to see how it shakes out when the 1 of James Shane Wolf and the 26 of Michael Light decide to come down pit road.
Right there you see Caleb Steimer on the bumper of Ed Morris Sr. This is for the 4th spot, or the 3rd spot, sorry. Ed Morris in the 4th spot, and it looks like Steimer, he's got
Ed Morris Sr. on pit road now. Huh? The 14 car hitting pit road. As well as the 33 of Johnny Collier.
So I believe the only cars that have yet to pit, I would assume.
Top 3.
Yep, the top 3. Michael Ed, James Shane Wolf, and Caleb Steimer.
We got right side tires on the 33 of Johnny Collier. I'll have to see if that's a 4-tire stop or not. Nope, right side's only on the 33. He's out of his box now. Ed Morris Sr. pulls into his box. I see the right side's going up on the 14 car. And this is going to be a 2-tire stop for Ed Morris Sr. as well. So everybody in the field has put right side tires on, except for the 84 Jeremy Rigney, who took 4 tires during his pit stop. And Matthew Robinson. There you see Steimer hitting pit road. I was taking a look there. Look at the battle between Matthew Robinson and Sebastian Taylor. That's a battle for position, and depending on when Michael Lipe and James Shane Wolf decide to pit, that could be the potential battle for the race lead.
Yep, I was just about to say, here comes the 40 of Robinson down low on the 27 of Taylor. No contest whatsoever. The 40 slides right past the 27 and move Robinson up to 3rd. And that, again, could potentially be the battle for the lead.
Yeah, we'll have to see where Michael Lipe and James Shane Wolf come out. If they get on the pit road slower or quicker, that all factors into it. But if I had to guess right now, I think Michael Leip and James Shainwolf will come out probably behind those two, behind the 27 and the 40. So they'll have to make up that track position and get around them the hard way. Still no pit stop though between the 26 and the 1.
It was just about a touch. That the 26 car has been in front for about 40 laps now. If he gets 11 more laps, that bonus point will go to him and not to the 40 of Robinson.
That's a really, really good point. Yeah, he's been in front for 40 laps now. So the only way Robinson can really steal the bonus point back from Michael Leip is having Leip pit as soon as possible and then trying to lead the rest of the race, really.
Yeah,
Winning the race.
Matthew Robinson's going to have to take the lead here within the next 10 laps or so if he wants to get that bonus point. And it all depends on when the 26 and the 1 decide to make their pit stops.
Oh.
I don't know if they're shooting themselves in the foot by not pitting as quickly as possible, or what the plan is here. No tires, maybe? To be sure not.
I don't think so. When we had the lap time chart up, we saw the difference in 2 tires and worn out tires. I mean, James Shainwolf that time around 22.9. Matthew Robinson actually only 22.7. So the lap times actually aren't as far off as I thought. So potential of a no tire stop. I mean, fuel only. That's actually a possibility.
If I was them, at this point with only 25 laps or so to go, I'll be looking to try to stretch those tires out in case we get a late race caution.
Yeah, that's actually not a bad strategy call. And plus, only reason you're pitting is really because you need the fuel to make it to the end. Certainly, you're gonna have to come down pit road at least once, but the amount of time you would save between not putting on tires and putting on even just 2 is pretty substantial. So
I don't know. That was a pretty big advantage on tires right there, that lap.
Yeah, Robinson almost a second quicker than Michael Leip.
Taking a look, I was watching Michael Leip there. He was actually battling with Jeremy Knapp. Knapp just got around him. He was stuck on the outside lane, so that explains the slower lap time there. As you see, he picks it right back up to 22.9. But you're right, Matthew Robinson down with a 22.5. That's still nearly a half second quicker lap.
Jeremy Knapp currently running in the 6th position, just in front of the leader Michael Leip. Doesn't want to go 2 laps down.
I can't believe we're already 74 laps down, coming to 26 to go here. I don't want to jinx it, but we've had a caution, I think, at least once every race this season. We just got the call, the 1 of James Shainwolf is going to be coming down pit road this time. This is an important stop for him.
Very interesting. You don't want to speed as well if you're the championship leader. Right there's the speed line they just passed.
See what he does here.
Yep, gonna have to take a look and see what the 1 of Shainwolf does. If he takes fuel only or if he takes right sides like the majority of the field has.
I think he loses a couple spots if he takes 2 tires here.
No, without a doubt, if he takes 2 tires, he'll probably be coming out behind the 27 Sebastian Taylor. Shainwolf just now getting into his box. I'm waiting to see. Yeah, the right sides are going up, so it's going to be at least a 2-tire pit stop for James Shainwolf.
There's the 40 right past him.
There he goes. He's actually lost a lot of track position. Wow, he's going to be way far behind. Still no stop, though, for the 26 of Michael Leip and Hunter. Like you mentioned earlier, this is going to be lap number 49, I believe he's going to lead. And if he doesn't come down pit road this lap or next, I think Matthew Robinson's going to lose that chance of getting the bonus point for the most laps led on the night.
Venditti very well could. Still waiting on word. Oh, here he comes down pit road now. Perfect timing. This is going to spice things up. When does the 26 come out, and what does the 26 of Michael Leip take? There goes the 40 of Robinson now. He's just got his lap back. So this lap will go to the 26 of Leip. It's going to be really close to see. These guys might split it 50-50.
I was just watching James Shainwolf try to get around Jacob York. That was a battle for position. Of course, no love lost between those two, and it got interesting there for a second. York was really, really tight on Shainwolf's door, but Shainwolf with those fresher tires eventually prevailed, got by him. You see Michael Leip in the 26 in. Right side's going up on that car. Does he decide to go with 4? Does he take the 2? Like we've seen all night, it's going to be right sides only for the 26.
And Michael Leip's going to come out in the 3rd spot.
Yeah, it's going to be right in front of James Shainwolf, actually. Shainwolf just now getting to the back bumper of the 26. He's actually going to go by him on the top side. A big loss of track position for both the 1 and the 26. That's going to shuffle them all the way back to 3rd and 4th and put Matthew Robinson out front with a 3.8 4-second lead over Sebastian Taylor.
20 to go.
It's going to be close for that bonus point, Hunter, for most laps led.
Yep,
I think it might be 50-50 at the end of this thing.
Yep, very good chance that it could be 50-50. Now, this is if the 40 of Robinson stays in the lead and if we don't get any caution. Right now, he's got a 3.4-second lead over Sebastian Taylor, but as we've seen throughout the season, anything can happen within the last 20 laps or so.
I think Shane Wolf's handily going to take control of Sebastian Taylor in the second spot here. I don't know if he's going to catch Robinson in 20 laps. We ought to see.
Well, we could see the 26 of Light past the one.
That's what I was looking at, Hunter, is those two are pretty close to each other as well. But like Ryan mentioned, those two are also tracking down the 27. So he's dealing with the lap car of the 84 at the moment.
I want to take a quick moment to recognize that one of our drivers has a birthday, and it's the almost said the wrong driver. It was the 36 of Caleb Steimer. Not sure how old he turns today, but today is his birthday. Happy birthday, Caleb. Currently you're running in the 9th spot. As we'll do a little rundown of the field here, presented by America's Auto Auction of Western Michigan. Matthew Robinson.
Sorry to interrupt, but Michael Lipe almost just lost it going through turn 2. I mean, he gave up a ton of time. He was dead sideways through the corner. He saved it, though, but...
So the 40 of Robinson currently leads. It's going to be close to see if he leads the most laps or not. And right here, battle for second. The 1 of Shane Wolf just flew by the 27 of Taylor. Taylor lost quite a bit of time there. Not sure what happened as his car slides all the way up the track there. And the 1 of Shane Wolf now moves into second. So the championship 2 are running 1-2. Although Shane Wolf leads the championship standings, he moves up to second in the race. And behind him is Michael Lipe in third. Now he's led, I believe, 49 or 50 laps. It's going to be really close. We'll have to see at the end of the race who's led the most laps. But he's had a really nice car all night. Michael Lipe has. We move back to fourth. Sebastian Taylor, he was running in the second spot at one point. He's fallen all the way back to fourth. Not really sure what went wrong there, if he got loose and out of the groove, but Taylor currently running fourth right now. Been in the top 5 almost the whole night, and along with that, the 25 of Jacob York, he's been in the top 5 most of the night too. Very quiet night so far. Quiet night for the majority of the field. So we go back towards the back half of the top 10.
Yeah, that was our mid-race rundown. Again, want to give a big special shout-out to America's Auto Auction of Western Michigan for that. So each race we've been taking you guys through the top 10 and the top 15 or however many cars we have that given night.
Sorry to cut you off, Jake. This is the battle for second. This is very crucial in the championship standings. Lipe going past the 1 of Shane Wolf. And that's going to propel the 26 into second. Just a 2.8-second gap between Lipe and Robinson here with less than 15 to go.
Remember, though, if Shane Wolf finishes, James Shane Wolf, if he finishes inside the top 5, he should be pretty safe in terms of winning the championship. But it's once he gets back to that 6th, 7th, 8th spot, that's when it can get a little hairy. And like we said earlier, Matthew Robinson right now is borderline on the most laps led. He's got to run these last 12 laps absolutely perfectly and hope for a mistake on the part of James Shane Wolf.
I believe the one thing he does not want to see is a caution, because that would bunch things up, and then he would have the 1 of Shane Wolf behind him if he chooses to restart on the bottom.
We got to remember, though, Michael Lipe and James Shane Wolf were the last 2 on pit road, and right now they're hunting down Matthew Robinson for the top spot. So we just got 11 to go, and they're catching him at a pretty quick rate. I don't think this thing's all said and done in terms of who's going to win the race here tonight.
Yep, and we saw it happen at Milwaukee where the 1 and the 40 were drafting off each other to catch the 26 of Lipe. And Robinson went on to win the race, caught him with 2 laps to go and passed him.
That looks like roles kind of reversed, yeah.
Yep, roles kind of reversed. The 1 and the 26 kind of drafting off each other. The gap's closed now to just over 2 seconds between Lipe and Robinson.
That gap between Lipe and Robinson was 5+ seconds just 10 laps ago. So they have made up some time in a hurry, and they're already now getting that gap just under 2 seconds perhaps this lap. So it's going to be a battle to the bitter end here between our top 3.
Yep, indeed it will, as it's closing now every so often. It's closed down now to about 1.7. We might see a last lap pass here. Who knows? But that 26 of Lipe is catching the 40 of Robinson very quick.
Would you say about 15, 20 car lengths right now?
Say about 14, 15.
Getting tight. He's catching pretty quick a lap. Well, don't know if he's gonna make it. He's got about 7 laps to go this time. So.
And then the other thing is, Robinson's going to defend like he's never defended before. I mean, this is his chance at the championship is by holding off the 26 here and then hoping somehow, some way, James Shanewolf gets caught up in some kind of a mess or makes a mistake. But that gap, I mean, we've just seen it split in half over the last 5 laps, and Michael Light is down almost to 1 second even behind Matthew Robinson for the top spot. 6 laps to go in the Country Road Sports Cars Championship 100, and Michael Light is driving the absolute wheels off that thing sideways through the corner, running just as close to the wall as he can get down the straightaway, and then sending it back down there into turn 3 and 4. Now it's down to 0.8 of a second. 5 to go for Matthew Robinson.
Now here's the thing: if Light catches Robinson, does he sit behind the 40, or does he try to go after the win and get a little
He's
aggressive?
going for the win, no question about it.
This dude's had the worst luck the last 4 weeks. He's going for the win here.
Ready to
Closing
come
in
through
even
turn
more.
4. Yep, closing in even more. It's 26 of Lipe, and the 40 of Robinson not liking what he sees in his mirror. 4 laps to go. 6/10 of a second lead for Robinson, although it's
Hunter,
dwindling every so lap.
how many times have we seen it this season where we get into some dull moments of the race and it gets spread out, and then all of a sudden 5 to go, we got to battle for the lead? It's almost every single week in this Rick's Hot Sauce Late Model Series. We got to battle for the win within 5 to go. And of course, the championship finale tonight, it's going to be no different. Michael Light is on the back bumper of Matthew Robinson.
We got a lap car in the way. That's the 20 of Jeremy Knapp. Don't know if he'll play in factor or not, but that 26 of Lipe closing in quite a bit on the 40 of Robinson here as they come to 2 to go.
He is there. It's just a matter of, does he put a bumper to him? He gets really close that time
he
to
was
turn 1 and 2.
close.
He's looking
He's going to get
the
underneath him
bottom.
here. Oh, he backed out of it. He almost hit the wall. If he didn't back out of it, he was going to smack the wall. And that
Got
cost the 26 of
sideways.
Lipe quite a bit. Here they come off turn 4. We're going to get the 1 to go in the season and in the race. White flag in the air. Robinson leads the way with Lipe and Shanewolf second, third.
Michael Light wasting absolutely no time and giving it everything he's got right now. He's sending it off of turn 2, trying to hunt down the 40 of Matthew Robinson for the race win in the season finale. I don't think it's going to be enough. One last ditch effort. Robinson sideways trying to defend the spot. It's not going to be enough. Matthew Robinson wins the Country Road Sports Cards Championship 100, and James Shanewolf takes home the Rick's Hot Sauce Late Model Series Championship.
Wow. What a race. 100 laps, caution free. Robinson won the race, but Shanewolf won the championship.
They're
Wow.
going to go down
What a-
and burn it down right here on the front straightaway. These two, of course, obviously went against each other for the championship, but I think they're close friends in real life. And Robinson, what a job defending and winning this race here tonight. He gets the W on the record books for the win. James Shanewolf, though, the season champion here in the Rick's Hot Sauce Late Model Series. That number 1 got it done.
Yep, he was the dominant car in the playoffs, and I mean Robinson trying to make a last-ditch effort, winning literally the last 3 races in the season, but it wasn't enough. And the one of Shanewolf comes away with the Rick's Hot Sauce Late Model Series Championship here at USA. So you'll see a replay of his burns here.
We'll wait for the official scoring to go up. Of course, the newly named president of Extreme Motorsports 99, Ed Morris, is here. He's going to go ahead and tally up the points. We'll get the official standings there.
Sorry, the 25 of Jacob York actually T-boned our champion as he was doing his burnouts.
Yeah, we don't need to show that. I mean, that's just stupid, honestly. But nonetheless, third place, James Shanewolf is going to go ahead and get it done. We'll get a chance to talk to him. But first, let's start off with our winner, Matthew Robinson, in the 40 here. I'll move you up here, Ryan, so you can get a chance to chat with them as well real quick. Let me see if I can find him. All the way down there in JW Racing. I don't want to drag him up at the wrong time. Hey, Matthew Robinson, it's Jacob Bell and Ryan Swan up here in the booth, man. You got it done. You got to victory lane. I don't know if it's going to be quite enough for the championship, but talk us through tonight's race and the strategy call you made to take those 2 tires and when you decided to come down pit road.
Yeah, I think at the beginning of the race, I burnt my stuff up a little bit, and Michael got out there a little bit, or either he was just a little bit smoother on the wheel with me than me, and so I knew I couldn't catch him, and it's so hard to pass here. It's such a big track for these late models. I knew I had to short pit them and get out front, and right there at the end, I didn't know if I could hold them off or not. I seen them coming, and I slid one time, and it's just I couldn't believe I got it. I thought he was gonna be there, but yeah, man, I just try to do like I did the last 3 weeks, just go out there and win again. So that's all I could do, after I got dumped at Martinsville. So I mean, not Martinsville, Myrtle Beach.
Yeah, Matthew, after a absolutely remarkable season, it looks like you're just going to come up short. Kind of give me a play-by-play, man. You had about 5-6 wins this year. Kind of take me through, and how about that battle with Shane Wolf all the way to the end?
Yeah, we're always me and him. We always race pretty clean, and he's a really good driver, really clean driver, and I love racing with him. In the late models and in the ARCA series, and he busted out there with a couple of good wins straight in a row, and got a good lead, and I had to play catch up, and it just came up short, and but it is what it is. I still feel like I had a good season, had a lot of fun, and maybe they'll do it again next year. Maybe I'll be an admin or something. We'll see.
Yeah, well, it was an honor to get to watch you, man. And of course, we got Ed Morris here, the president of Extreme, who's tallying up the points for the official standings. But regardless, want to congratulate you on a win tonight and presumably a second place finish of the season, man. Is there anybody you want to thank before we let you go here?
Yeah, I'd like to thank JW Racing with Justin Rideout. He couldn't be here today, and he had work obligations. But I'd like to thank him for bringing me on the team this year, and we had a great season. So right here till the end right here, and I'd like to thank Track Racer, Exceptional Wildlife Removal, Dogtopia, Grip Engineering, and I'd like to thank Rick's Hot Sauce for sponsoring the late model series, and I'd like to thank y'all for broadcasting the late model series. Is pretty awesome show y'all do, and like to thank everyone at Extreme, all the admins and everything.
Absolutely, man. Well, we're gonna let you go here. Congratulations on another win. Oh, I think I cut him off there. Matthew Robinson gets his 6th victory of the season. However, I don't think it's going to be enough. James Shane Wolf finishes 3rd tonight, but ultimately is going to be the champion of the Rick's Hot Sauce Late Model Series. First season here tonight. That number 1 looked good out there, James, and congratulations on the championship.
I appreciate it, man. It was a fun season. Shout out to Matt. Congrats to him on the win.
Oh, my bad. I didn't know if you were going there.
Oh, you're good. You're good.
Yeah, no, I just want to say, man, you did a great job. 5 wins on the year. You ran strong pretty much every single week, and kind of talk us through this season, man. You had a lot of ups and very few downs, it felt like, but I'm sure, there's been some stories and stuff that's happened to you throughout the year that you've had to work through. And kind of talk us through your year in this late model season.
Yeah, I just ran it for the fun of it, man. I love these cars. I wasn't sure. I really didn't have any hopes or anything for running good. I just wanted to run something to kill the time on Sundays, and it ended up we started being competitive, started going up there and battling for wins and stuff, and I was like, man, we might have a shot at it. Then Matt went on his win streak there for a while, and I was like, okay, maybe we don't, and we ended up fighting back, and then the chase started, and I just really kind of buckled down and focused on trying to have good runs, keep out of trouble, stay consistent, stay inside the top 5, and I think we obviously accomplished that goal. So Yeah, it was cool, man. Fun to finally get one of these things. I've been in Extreme for 3 seasons now, so I've been up there every season. Just haven't been able to seal the deal and to finally do it. Even if it's just a Sunday night league, the lower series, whatever. It's just cool to have one under your belt. A lot of guys I look up to have won championships here in Extreme, so it's cool to add my name to that list.
Yeah, Shane Wolf, I've been around you since you came into Extreme. We raced ARCA together for a couple seasons. You running this Sunday series, man. You're the inaugural champion here in the Rick's Hot Sauce late model series. Maybe to build this thing forward or whatnot, what would you take away, and what maybe would you add for maybe a second season?
I'd like to see it all short tracks. It seemed like New Hampshire and Richmond, stuff like that. They were Homestead. It was just too big. The cars, you got your run about midway through the straightaway, and then it died out. Everybody was maxed out. You couldn't really go anywhere with runs and stuff like that. So I'd like to see it keep all short tracks. I probably won't run next season, in all honesty. I know they need some help in the admin booth, so I'm going to get a hold of Ed and see if he needs help over here. I enjoy these cars a ton. I enjoy watching them. I enjoy racing them. So I still want to be a part of this series somehow, whether it's adminning or running in it, whatever. I just want to be a part of it in some way, shape, or form. So.
Yeah, so I see you got one of my favorite spots in the Tennessee area on the hood. If you want to give out any shout outs to your sponsors and team and all that.
Yeah, big shout out to Thunder Valley Tavern. Had a couple nights there that I can't really remember. Good place to be, especially during the race weekends. We got Bristol coming up here in a couple weeks, so if anybody's heading that way, the bar is literally on the property of the racetrack. You cannot miss it. I'll be there signing autographs. I'm just kidding, but I'll be there. If anybody else is there, they can buy me a beer, or I'll buy them a beer, whatever. But yeah, man, make sure if you're in the Bristol area to go check them out, man. It's a real nice bar, a lot of fun, live music every weekend, great place to be. Another shout out to One Mind Two Design for all they do for me. They kept the car looking sharp, even when it was all crinkled up. Sometimes it still looked pretty good. So thank you to them for all they do. Shout out to First Impression Interior, Ed Robertson, all he does for me. That man takes so much time out of his week to spot for me, when he could be doing a lot more stuff, a lot better stuff than just sitting here talking to me. And shout out to everybody at Extreme, everybody that sponsored this series, Dogtopia, Miller Racing Graphics, Country Road Sports Cards, everybody in the broadcast booth. You guys did awesome this season. I really enjoyed the broadcast. Just everybody that's been a part of this, man, big thank you.
Man, again, congratulations. It's awesome to see the job you and Matthew were able to do, trading wins back and forth every single week. And ultimately, you got the better at the championship there at the end. But congratulations on the championship in the Rick's Hot Sauce Late Model Series.
Thank you, man. Yeah, I wouldn't have wanted to battle it out with anybody else, man. Me and Matt have been friends for a while. Grew up racing go-karts together. So really cool to have it come down to me and him at the end. And like you said, shout out to Rick's Hot Sauce for sponsoring the series. I'm going to order some probably this week just to try it out. Not a big hot sauce fan, but I'm going to try it.
Well, man, congratulations again. Championship winner, James Shane Wolf.
Thank you, sir.
What a guy, Jake. What a guy. What a champion. Anybody that don't know, go subscribe to his OnlyFans, but that's for another time.
That's an interesting shout out.
But nonetheless, guys, 15 races in the books. The first season of the Rick's Hot Sauce Late Model Series is over already, just like that.
Man, just to think we were doing our test stream at Five Flags. Woof.
Yeah, it goes by quick. It really does. But it was a super fun season. I love the idea of starting it at USA and then did it here at USA as well. It was an awesome race tonight. I think our first race that we actually went caution free, flag to flag, no yellows at all. So these guys really put on a good show. Matthew Robinson getting the race win, but James Shanewolf ultimately getting the championship. We'll get to take a look here at the finishing results and also our final point standings for the season for one last time here. Tonight at USA, because we got all that set up here for you guys as well. So see what we get here. And on Harold to see what we got. We got the championship standing. So our final championship results here tonight. James Shanewolf coming home with the championship, of course. Matthew Robinson with a second place finish in the series standings. Ultimately won his 6th race of the year, but just wasn't enough. Jeremy Knapp gets his top 10 streak up to 14. So 14 top 10s for Jeremy Knapp on the year. That's a pretty good season. He'll come home 3rd, tied with Jacob York. Johnny Collier with a 5th place finish in the championship standings, followed by Rick Ward, Ed Morris Sr., Carter Coop, Sebastian Taylor, and then Jeremy Rigney, our top 10 in the final standings here this season, Hunter.
Yeah, what a season it's been. And Jeremy Knapp, you mentioned he stretched his top 10 streak, stretched his top 10s to 14, the most out of anyone in the field. Now, here's our finishing results presented by America's Auto Auction of Western Michigan. So Matthew Robinson gets it done. He wins tonight. Matthew Robinson wins, but he does not win the championship. Michael Ipe 2nd. James Shanewolf 3rd. He clinches the championship by just 7 points over Matthew Robinson. Then behind him, you'll have Sebastian Taylor finishing 4th. Jacob York finishing 5th. And then rounding out the rest of the top 10 is Jeremy Knapp, Jeremy Rigney, Ed Morris Sr., Caleb Steimer, and Johnny Collier. Then the last 2 spots going to be Rick Ward in 11th and Dean Gagliano in 12th. So, guys, the season's over. James Shanewolf is your champion. What's your thoughts on that and the rest of the season?
Well,
I think
this,
Go ahead, I'll let you go.
I think this is an incredible season to build off of. This is a new era for Extreme, if we had to say it. Gonna be interesting to see how this series and all that builds forward. See what we got next season with the whole league. So, congrats to Shanewolf and a close second to Matthew Robinson. It was an incredible ride this year.
I just want to say thank you to everybody in the Twitch stream that's followed this account and chatted with us throughout the races and watched all these races with us. This channel was just built before the season started, and just to be broadcasting this series and get up to 138 followers, over 1,000 views on the channel, it really is awesome to see all your guys' support, and can't thank you guys enough. Of course, we had a little bit of an announcement earlier on tonight about the league going forward. So we're going to have a few new things here, and we're looking forward to all of that and what's to come in the future. So definitely stay tuned on our Facebook page at extrememotorsports99.com. You'll see a lot of new announcements and stuff on there, and that's where you guys can stay up to date for what's going to happen next season and stuff. But you'll see us around here on this Twitch channel as well. So make sure you guys stay followed along here. Follow us over on our Facebook page as well, and we look forward to next season in the league already, man. It's going to be a fun one, and super excited to have Ed Morris, our newly named president, leading us along here. And I'm looking forward to all the changes and the new things we got coming up.
Hey, Jake, is it too early to talk about what we got going on for next season?
Yeah, it's a little too early to talk about that.
Man.
I'm
ready to go, man. Let's go.
but definitely stay followed along with the channel, guys. And we really appreciate the support. It helps us out a lot. So we're looking forward to next year, and the league is going to start right back up, man. Only about a month break in between seasons, so you can stay followed along. And like I said, Facebook is where you'll see a lot of the updates and news. So thank you guys for your support, and for Hunter and for Harold. I don't know if you guys have anything else you guys want to add.
I was just about to. I don't know if Harold had to say anything, but I had a little something. So Harold, you want to take it away, or?
I was gonna say, man, great to have Wendigo Studios on board with you guys here for your inaugural season. I think Jake, Hunter, you guys did an excellent job calling the races. Ryan coming up in there in the last few races to add color commentary. We try to do the best thing we can. We like having our fans talking to us every race. If you haven't taken any time to type during the Twitch channel during live, do so. We're watching and we love talking to you.
Yeah, and I just wanted to give a little message or a little shout out to Extreme Motorsports. just giving me the opportunity to call the Rick's Hot Sauce Late Model Series my first ever attempt at doing something like this. Had a blast doing it from our test session at Five Flags all the way up to the championship race at USA International. And just think I just thought I'd point that out there, give a little thanks to everyone who puts this together, from our team, Harold, our producer, to Jacob Bell, Ryan Swan. I'm Hunter Slippy saying so long, and we'll see you when we see you.
What an exciting race brought to you by Wendigo Studios. Here they come out of turn 4 to the white flag, and it's 1 to go. Thank you to all our sponsors, drivers, and viewers. We'll see you at the next turn.